Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text chapter 10, text 22. Vedanam Samavedosmi Devanam Asmi Vashavah Indriyanam Manaschashmi Bhutanam Asmi Chetana.
Of the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind, and in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness.
Text 23. Rudranam Shankaraschashmi Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasham Vasunam Pavakaschashmi Meru Shikharinam Aham.
Of all the Rudras, I am the Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni, and of mountains, I am Meru.
Text 24. Purodhasam cha mukhyam mam Viddhi Partha Brihaspatim Senaninam Aham Skandah Sarasham Ashmi Shagarah.
Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brahaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean.
Text 25. Maharshinam Brigur Aham Giram Asmya Ekam Aksharam Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi Stavaranam Himalayah.
Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas.
Text 26. Ashvattha Sarvavikshanam Devarsinam cha Naradaha Gandharvanam Chitrartha Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi.
Of all trees, I am the banyan tree. And of the sages, among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitratha. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila.
Text 27. Uchchaishravasam Ashvanam Viddhi Mam Amritodbhavam Airavatam Gajendranam Naranam cha Naradipam.
Of horses, know me to be Uchesharva, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata. And among men, I am the monarch.
Text 28. Ayudhanam aham vajram Dhenunam asmi kamadhuk Prajanaschashmi kandarpa Darpanam asmi vasukihi.
Of weapons, I am Thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes of procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki.
Text 29. Antaschashmi naganam Varuno yadasam aham Pitranam aryamachashmi Yama samyamatam aham.
Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death.
Text 30. Prahladaschashmi daityanam Kalah kalyatam aham Mriganam cha mrigendro aham Vainateyascha pakshinam.
Among the Daityas demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda.
Text 31. Pavanaha pavatam Rama shastra bhritam aham Jhasanam makaraschashmi Shrota shamasmi janavi.
Of purifiers, I am the wind of the wilderness. Of weapons, I am Rama. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges.
Text 32. Prabhuji, could you please scroll up? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sharganam adir antascha madhyam chaivaham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vadah pravadatam aham.
All creation, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle. O Arjuna, of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. And among logicians, I am the conclusive truth.
Text 33. Aksharanam Dvandva Samasika cha Aham Evakshayah Kalo Dhataham Vishwato Mukha.
Letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma.
Text 34. Mrityuh sarvaharashchaham udabhavascha bhavishyatam kirtihi shrirvakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti shama.
I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Text 35. Brihat shama tatha samanam gayatri chandasam aham masana margashirsho aham rutunam kusuma.
Of the hymns in the Sama Veda, I am Bharat Sama, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashirsha, November, December, and of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring.
Text 36. Dyutam shalayatam ashmi tejasvinam aham jayo asmi vyavasayo asmi shatvam sattvatam aham.
I am also the gambling of the chiefs, and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong.
Text 37. Vrishninam vasudevosmi pandavanam dhananjayah muninam apya aham vyasah kavinam ushana kavi.
Of the descendants of Vishnu, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushna.
Text 38. Dando damayatam ashmi nitir asmi jigi satam maunam chaiv vashmi guyanam nanam jnanavatam aham.
Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom.
Text 39. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tad asti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam.
Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. Therefore, there is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me.
Text 40. Nanto asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tuddeshatah prokto vibhutir vistaro maya.
O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
Text 41. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad urjitam eva va tat tat eva vagachatvam mama tejum sa sambhavam.
Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Text 42. Athava bahunaitena kim nati natavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekam shena sthito jagat.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Om Tatsat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoge Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamo Adhyayah.
Thank you very much, Sanchi Mataji and Girish Prabhu. That is beautiful recitation of the Sanskrit, Sanchi Mataji.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And Girish Prabhu, wonderful English recitation. So today we'll continue with our reading, studying, discussion of Krishna book. Somehow or the other, the Veda base site seems to be offline today. So I may have to revert to a PDF copy of the Krishna book. I hope you can read it clearly. And I understand yesterday you all stopped by, therefore it was better to kill all the babies who took birth of Devaki and Vasudeva. So we will carry on from there. And this is three more paragraphs before the end of the chapter. So we are building up very nicely now and timelessly to the advent of Lord Krishna, just before Janmashtami, which is on Wednesday. So before we start, we'll recite the, let me make sure I've muted everyone first. Yeah, everyone's muted. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Picharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadya Shatarine. So we continue reading from chapter 1, the advent of Lord Krishna. So thus far we've been reading, just for a summary for those who have joined us today, the demigods being burdened by the impious and demoniac kings headed by Lord Brahma. First they approached Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma took them to the Lord Vishnu lying on the causal ocean on Ananta, and appealed to the Lord to appear. And the Lord assured them that he would appear very soon. And then we move to the scene where Vasudeva and Devaki have just been married, and they are returning to the residence of Vasudeva. The chariot is being driven by Kamsa, the cousin brother of Devaki. There's a wonderful festive atmosphere, a big entourage, and then there's a loud voice in the sky that disrupts the entire scene. And the voice informs Kamsa that he's a fool, and that the eighth son of his sister Devaki, is going to kill him. And then his entire mood changes. He's ready to grabs the hair of his sister with the left hand, and with his right hand he's about to cut off her head. Vasudeva, in a very beautiful series of verses, puts forward many arguments for Kamsa to not kill his sister. And Kamsa has a change of heart, but then Narad Muni comes and he incites Kamsa that all of these personalities are demigods, and he should kill the children. And we've had some nice discussion I was hearing from the classes yesterday and the day before about Narad Muni's reason for inciting. And there's a lot of very interesting histories that are coming into play now. So Kamsa kills the first 6 children of Devaki, and he shackles Devaki and Vasudeva in iron chains. And this is where we are now. The first, I think we may have also read the 7th child, who is Baladev, is is born. But let's just read on. So we're reading from within the prison, shackled in iron chains. Are you able to see my screen clear enough? Let me see.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
You can
Prabhuji.
see your
All
screen.
right.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Let's see if I can put it full screen and then make it a bit bigger. Okay. So we are here within the prison, shackled in iron chains. Would anyone like to volunteer to read?
I can read.
Please do, Mataji.
Okay. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudev and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year, and Kansa, thinking each of the babies to be the incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the eighth child, but after the visit of Narad, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth of Devaki and Vasudev.
Carry on, Mataji. Read the next paragraph too, please.
This action of Kansa is not very difficult to understand. There are many instances in the history of the world of persons in the royal order who have killed father, brother, or whole family and friends for the satisfaction of their ambitions. There is nothing astonishing about this, for the demoniac can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we see Kamsa is really taking things very seriously now, and has killed all of the children born thus far. And Srila Prabhupada writes there, the action of Kamsa is not very difficult to understand. Why is it not very difficult to understand? Because this is the nature of demoniac personalities. In the purport to the actual Sanskrit verses, Srila Prabhupada quotes in the history one person in particular who was known to be demonic in nature, and to act very aggressively towards his own family. Does anyone know who Prabhupada quotes, or can you all tell me examples that you are aware of where family meant nothing to a demonic person?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we'd like to go first. Vilashni Machadi, I think you came up first.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
It's
Krishna.
Aurangzeb who actually imprisoned his father, and when the Taj Mahal was built, and there was another building that was being built, and he was not very happy that
Yeah.
money was being spent.
That's true. In the purport, Prabhupada quotes Aurangzeb, the son of Shah Jahan, and those who have been to the Taj Mahal and have also seen the other buildings, we know that his father was not well, Shah Jahan, and while he was not well, he took over the kingdom, and as soon as his father recovered, he imprisoned him, and he died in imprisonment. So anyone else was going to quote another example?
In Ramayan, was it Vali in Ramayan who imprisoned his father?
Yes, that's Vali also.
Also, like
Hiranyakashipu, yes, his own son, Prahlad.
even Kans himself, like his father was Ugrasena.
Yes, Ugrasena. You will read about that, how he imprisoned his father. So this is not unknown for the demoniac. And Prabhupada says many instances in the history of the world, persons in the royal order, nothing astonishing about this, for the demoniac can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions. So we'll read on. Someone could read the next 2 verses for me till the end of the chapter, please.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, please, Mataji.
Krishna was made aware of his previous birth.
Kamsa.
Kamsa was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in his previous birth he was a demon of the name Kalanami, and that he was killed by Vishnu. Having taken his birth in the Bhoj family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna was going to take birth in that family, and Kamsa was very much afraid that he would be killed by Krishna, just as he was killed in his last birth. He first of all imprisoned his father Ugrasen because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhoj, and Andharka dynasty, and he also occupied the kingdom of Surasena, Vasudev's father. He decided himself the king of all such places. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first chapter of Krishna, Advent of Lord Krishna. Oh, I didn't know that one. Thank you, Prabhu.
So this finishes the first chapter, and it ends with Kamsa. He said Narada incited Kamsa by telling him of his previous birth. And yesterday we heard of Kalanemi. Kalanemi was the son of Hiranyaksha, and he was killed by Vishnu. And in this birth, he considered the Yadus his enemy, and he knew that Krishna was going to be taking birth. And it is described that Kamsa 24 hours a day he was thinking about Krishna. Now, previous class we said that the goal of spiritual life, what is the essence of all spiritual instruction? And can anyone remember what we said was the essence of all spiritual instruction?
Follow the spiritual master?
No.
Go back to Krishna. Okay, remember Krishna always and never forget him.
Yes, Emma Mataji, that's right. To always remember and never forget Krishna. So here we have Kamsa thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, always remembering Krishna, never forgetting him. So can we then regard Kamsa as a great devotee?
No.
Why not?
No, because
Yes, he is a great devotee. Because he was always thinking of
He was
Krishna.
not in the mood of a bhakta, thinking of Krishna at that time.
he is thinking of just killing Krishna, Prabhuji. He is not thinking of
It's a different
really
mood altogether, Prabhuji.
Different mood. Yeah, Srila Rupa Goswami gives the definition of pure devotional service. Anya bilashita shunya, jnana karmadi anavrita, anukulyena Krishna anushilanam, bhakti uttama. So he said there are certain elements, as we were describing, that defines what is pure devotional service. One, it must be free of jnana, karma, and yoga. It must be as Krishna desires. It must be continuous. And importantly, it must be in a favorable mood. Favorable mood is one of the elements of pure devotional service. So one can be thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day. But if the mood is, it can be continuous, it can be free of karma, jnana, yoga. But if it's not as Krishna, well, it can be maybe as Krishna desires, but if the mood is not favorable, it's not pure devotional service. And this is very instructive for us, that whenever we do devotional service, we should never do devotional service in a grudging mood. Like someone tells us, oh, it's your turn to do arti today. Oh, my turn to do arti today. I just did it the other day. Or you go into the kitchen, I don't feel like cooking today. Why must I cook and offer? No, every time the mood has to be favorable. Devotional service means mood is favorable to Krishna. Then it is considered to be pure devotional service. If mood is not favorable, then it may be mixed devotional service or devotional service. Sometimes it's deemed to be in other modes. So this is the position of Kamsa. And as we were reading, not only his sister, but he also imprisoned his own father, Ugrasena. And he captured the other dynasties, and he occupied the kingdom of Surasen, Vasudev's father, and he declared himself the king of all places. So we end this chapter where Kamsa has achieved great achievements as a king. He's conquered different dynasties, he's subjugated his sister, and he has killed the children of his sister. And this is what the demons do. The demons think that if they can control everything around them, then they'll be peaceful and happy. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, no, 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 no. People who think like that got it completely wrong. Only when you control yourself, then you will get control of the world. And because if your senses and your anarthas are controlling you, there's no. And therefore you see the leaders today, big leaders of big nations, but when they don't have control of themselves, it's just demoniac, completely demoniac, and people are very unhappy. So now we'll move to the second chapter, which is called Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb. What an interesting title of the chapter. Lord Krishna in the Womb. So we'll carry on. Any volunteers for reading this first paragraph right up to take his birth?
Can I do it, Prabhuji?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
yes,
do
Puja
it.
Mataji.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
sorry, who else said? After that,
It's
you can
okay, it's
read.
me, Sangeeta. It's all right.
Okay, so Sangeeta Mataji, after Puja Mataji, you read the next paragraph.
No, that's fine. No problem. Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. King Kamsa not only occupied the kingdoms of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties and the kingdom of Sursena, but he also made alliances with all other demoniac kings as follows: the demon Pralamba, demon Baka, demon Chanura, demon Tranavarta, demon Agasur, demon Mastika, demon Arista, demon Dvidvida, demon Putana, demon Keshi, and demon Dhanuka. At that time, Jarasandha was the king of Magad province, known at the present as Bihar state. Thus, by his diplomatic policy, Kans consolidated the most powerful kingdom of his time under the protection of Jarasandha. He made further alliances with such kings as Banasura and Bhaumasura until he was the strongest. Then he began to behave most inimically towards the Yadu dynasty into which Krishna was to take birth.
Just see how he's conspired. Right? He made all of these alliances with so many demons, and you can see all of these demons will come one after the other, all to kill Krishna. And it says here, until he was the strongest. Then when he thought he was very strong, he began to behave very inimically towards the Yadu dynasty, into which Krishna was going to take his birth. So he was not only subjugating Vasudeva and Devaki, he was subjugating the entire Yadu dynasty, because as we've read, one of the advice that Narada had given Kamsa, he said all of these Yadus, they are actually demigods who have taken birth. And Narada was right, because before the Lord appeared, the Lord, he had all of his associates had also come. So Yashvini Mataji, you've raised your hand.
Yes, me.
Yes, Mataji, you wanted to add something?
No, I was just going to say I would like to read some. That's all.
All right. So Sangeeta Mataji will read the next paragraph up to, well, next 2 paragraphs up to Kamsa, and then after that you can read.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So, sorry, can I read or
Yes.
Mataji's read?
No, you go, Sangeeta Mataji.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you very much. Being harassed by Krishna, the king of the Yadu.
Kamsa.
Sorry?
Being harassed by Kamsa, not Krishna.
Yeah, sorry. Being harassed by Kamsa, the king of the. Did I say Krishna? No, I didn't.
You're so absorbed in Krishna, you see Krishna everywhere.
I can't say that. Being harassed by Kamsa, the kings of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Anduka, destinies begin to take shelter in the different states, such as the state of the Kurus, the state of the Panchalas, and the state known as the Kekayas, Salva, Vidarbha, Nishada, Videha, and Koshala. Kamsa broke the solidarity of the Yadu kingdom, as well as the Bhoja and Andaka. He made his position the most solid within the vast tract of land known at the time as a Bharatvarsha. Can I read another one, small one?
Yes, until Kamsa, you read the next one too.
When Kamsa killed the 6 babies of Devaki and Vasudeva, one after another, many friends and relatives of Kamsa approached him and requested him to discontinue these heinous activities. But all of them become worshippers of Kamsa.
Okay, thank you.
When Devaki, sorry, can I? Or?
You wanted to ask a question?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Sangeeta Mataji, you were going to say
Can I continue or?
No, pause here. You pause here. Pause here. Yeah. I want to just make. So there's a famous saying, divide and conquer. That was part of even the British Raj. What they did, they divided and they created enmity. So, Kamsa also, what he did, he divided the Yadu dynasty, the Bhoja dynasty, and the Andaka, with the result that they were in one kingdom, but they started to separate, and they went and they were all in different parts, all separated. And being separated, individually they were weak. Collectively, they were strong. So Kamsa, he divided and he broke down these states. And last time I showed you all the map of all of these different states. And then it said, yeah, he made his position most solid, practically to the point he ruled the entire Bharatvarsh. And that is indeed a very, very strong, solid position. And he killed the 6 babies of Devaki. And it says something very interesting here. Many friends and relatives of Kamsa approached him and requested him to discontinue these heinous activities, but he didn't listen to them. So there were many people trying to give them good advice. And it seems, as Prabhupada explains in one of the purports, even the Yadus. But it says here, all of them became worshippers of Kamsa. Now that is a very interesting statement. And Prabhupada gives us in his purports to the Bhagavatam itself, the verse by verse, gives us a very nice understanding. So how many of y'all must have read this? Who can tell me why, although they were against Kamsa, even the Yadus, for example, Akrura, they still stayed with some Kamsa, and still it said here, some of them became worshippers of Kamsa. Why did they do that? If he was so bad, if he was so demoniac, why did they become worshippers of Kamsa?
Can I say?
Sangeeta Mataji, you like to say?
I mean, according to what I read and understood right now was because he killed the 6 babies of a Devaki Mata and then Vasudeva as well. Everybody had so much fear for Kamsa that there won't be anyone who will come and save them because it was already been like told, by the Yogama, there was something happened on the sky, and then it just came out that Devki's 8th child will come and kill Kamsa. So Kamsa was killing all the babies. So people thought that now this is not going to be possible, and everyone really got fearful for Kamsa. So in the fear, they used to worship him, I think, not because of they liked him or anything.
Strangely enough, Prabhupada said it was not because of fear.
Sorry, second.
Prabhupada said it was not because of fear.
Okay.
Who knows why they worshipped Kamsa?
Was it disillusioned? They were disillusioned and mode
No.
of ignorance? No.
No.
Very diplomatic.
Shelter?
Sorry,
Because he
Gerta,
was
what were you saying,
strong.
Gerta? What were you saying, Gerta?
Shelter?
Because he was very strong.
Sorry,
Diplomatic?
one at a time, please. Let Gerta speak, and then maybe Puja
Can I say something, Prabhuji?
You can say after Mataji. Let Gerta say something, and then you'll say after.
Okay, go ahead.
Be very
Okay.
diplomatic.
Sorry, because diplomatic.
Yes.
Because of diplomacy. In one sense, yes, but still something more than that. Bhagavati Mataji, you want to say?
Is that Akrura was was a Vrishni dynasty married to Nandini? Akrura was one of the major. Was it the son of was born to them to Akrura? Is it?
Not the reason Prabhupada gives, no.
Because this was the descendant of Yadus, wasn't it? Dynasty.
Yeah, even the Yadus, they say, were worshipping Kamsa.
They wanted to take shelter because he was so much powerful at that time.
No. Okay, I'll tell you what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says the reason they did that, they were very anxious to see Lord Krishna being born.
Oh.
And if they didn't worship Kamsa, he would have done something to them, and they would have missed the opportunity to see Krishna being born. So, in one sense, as Geta said, they were being diplomatic, externally worshipping him, but the main reason they were worshipping Kamsa because they were thinking, we'll do anything to see Krishna being born. We want to experience the bliss of seeing Krishna. So they were doing this externally. They became worshippers of Kamsa. All right, that's nice to know, isn't it? The devotees were so eager. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I just want to know that that means everybody knew that Krishna will be born.
Yes, they knew. Actually, the associates of the Lord, you get two types of associates. Sadhana Siddha and Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha means the eternal associates of the Lord. So before Krishna comes, most of his associates come before him, like the elders. They appear, they're born before Krishna. They appear, and they all play a part in Krishna Leela. So the Yadus, as Prabhupada says, like how the Yadus, they destroyed themselves at the end of the Mahabharata. They are eternal associates of Krishna. So they come here before him, and they all knew Krishna was going to appear. And they were waiting for it. And it was all part of the arrangement of the Lord.
Like Sri Krishna Chaitanya, before he born, everybody born, associates
Exactly.
born before that.
Exactly, right. Exactly. They all prepare, they all come before the Lord, making all the arrangements and just waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we carry on reading then. When Devaki became pregnant, who was going to ask somebody? I forgot now. Yashvini Mataji, have you read already?
No, I haven't. Can I read?
Can you read? Yes, please. Read this paragraph and the next one. I'll scroll down.
Okay, thank you. When Devaki became pregnant for the 7th time, a plenary expansion of Krishna, known as Ananta, appeared within her womb. Devaki was overwhelmed with both jubilation and lamentation. She was joyful, for she could understand that Lord Vishnu had taken shelter within her womb. But at the same time, she was sorry that as soon as her child would come out, Kamsa would kill him. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, being compassionate upon the Yadus, who were fearful due to the atrocities committed by Kamsa, ordered the appearance of Yogamaya, his eternal potency. Krishna is the Lord of the universe. but he is specially the lord of the Yadu dynasty.
Okay.
Yogmaya, sorry.
Yeah, they're all linked. So just carry on, Mataji. Just carry on
Thank
to the end.
Yogmaya is the principal potency of the personality of Godhead. In the Vedas, it is stated that the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has multi-potencies. Parasya Saktir Vividhaiva Rutaite. All the different potencies are acting externally and internally, and Yogmaya is the chief of all potencies. The Lord ordered the appearance of Yogmaya in the land of Vrajabhumi, in Vrindavan, which is always decorated and full with beautiful cows. In Vrindavan, Rohini, one of the wives of Vasudeva, was residing at the house of King Nanda and Queen Yashoda. Not only Rohini, but many others in the Yadu dynasty were scattered all over the country due to the fear of the atrocities of Kamsa. Some of them were even living in the caves of the mountains.
Okay, stop, Mataji. Thank you. So now we are moving on. The 6 children were born and they were killed by Kamsa. And now the 7th child is born. And we've been discussing this recently. Who was the 7th child?
Balaram.
Yogmaya.
Balaram. Balaram. So at that time, Balaram appeared first. And at that time, Krishna ordered his Yogamaya potency. So we've been studying in the past, there's 2 types of Maya, Mahamaya and Yogamaya.
Yogamaya.
And we'll study a bit more. Mahamaya is the Maya that has jurisdiction over the material world. And she is Durga Devi with a trident, was constantly piercing. She is the superintendent of the maximum security, maximum security prison of the material world. And in the spiritual world, she is Yogamaya. And Yogamaya makes all of the arrangements according to the Lord's direction. So, yeah, Yogamaya is being ordered to appear in the land of Rajabhumi. And then we see mention of Rohini. Rohini was one of the wives of Vasudeva, and she's also the mother of Baladev. So the scene is being set now for some very interesting intrigue about what happens to the 7th child. 7th child of Krishna, Devaki. And it's now 8:30, and its time has just gone so quickly. So maybe we'll stop here. We'll just take some reflections, comments, and questions.
I think Prabhuji should carry on.
We shall carry on.
Please.
All right, we'll carry on for another 10 minutes. It's so interesting, really absorbing.
Thank you. Yeah, very nice.
So we'll now read on. The Lord thus informed Yogamaya. Let's see what he asks. So first he instructs Yogamaya, appear please in Vrindavan. And Yogamaya is a potency of the Lord, one of the multi-potencies. And the real potency of Yogamaya, there's a few potencies she has. One is she covers the residents of Vrindavan into thinking that Krishna is God. And she also covers Krishna. And also she makes many, many other arrangements for Krishna's pastimes. So now Krishna has got a very specific mission for Yogamaya, and we'll read that in the next verse. Any volunteers? Meena Mataji. All right, you go, Meena Mataji.
Lord thus informed Yogamaya under the imprisonment of Kansa and Devaki and Vasudeva, and at the present moment, my plenary explanation, Sesa, is within the womb of Devaki. you can arrange the transfer of Sesa from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. After this arrangement, I am personally going to appear in the womb of Devaki with my full potencies. Then I shall appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, and you shall appear as the daughter of Nanda and Yasoda in Vrindavan.
Yes, thank you. We'll stop there. This is very interesting. Now it's getting very interesting. So Krishna is telling Yogamaya, the seventh child who is in the womb of Devaki is Sesha. He says, one of my plenary expansions. And Sesha is actually an expansion of Lord Balaram. And the Lord is saying, I want you now to take this child and place this child in the womb of Rohini. And after you do that, I will then appear as the eighth child of Devaki. Now we read previously about Lord Balaram. Although he is equal in potency to Lord Krishna, his mood is he's the servant of Krishna. So Lord Balaram wanted to first appear in the womb of Devaki. And the reasons given is the first 6 children were in one sense offenders and of demoniac natures, and they came for a specific purpose to achieve a benediction. But still, Balaram wanted to appear in the womb of Devaki to prepare, to make it the best arrangement for the Lord to appear. So Yogamaya is then going to take Balaram to the womb of Rohini. And therefore, Balaram is known as Rohini Nandan, the son of Mother Rohini. And actually, he is the eternal son of Mother Rohini. So we'll carry on. We'll read, Meena Mataji, can you carry on reading the next verse, please?
Since you will appear as my contemporary sister, and since you will quickly satisfy desire for sense gratification, people within the world will worship you with all kinds of valuable presentations, increase candles, flower, and offering all sacrifice. People who are after materialistic perfection will worship you under the different form of your expansions, which will be named Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumunda, Chandrika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayana, Ishani, Sarda, and Ambika.
Yes, another very interesting fact. So Krishna is saying, first you take Balaram and you place Balaram in the womb of Rohini. Then you become born as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda. I'll jump the gun a bit, but I'll briefly explain what is going on. Actually, it is explained in the scripture, and there's a long pastime about how Nanda and Yashoda couldn't get children, and then they performed a wonderful vrata, and after the vrata, they got the benediction that they will have 2 children, twins, a daughter and a son. So the son is, or the daughter as being described here is who? Subhadra. Subhadra. And the expansion of Subhadra in the material world is who? Durga. Durga Devi was also known as Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumada, Chandrika. So explanation is given here that the devotees will worship Subhadra as Yogamaya. And those who are, people, it says here, people within the world will worship you with all kinds of valuable presentations, incense, candles, flowers, and incense of offerings of sacrifice. So in the material world, they'll worship you as Durga or Bhadrakali. Yeah. So this is the being revealed here, the position of this Yogamaya, who became the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda, who expands herself in the material world as Mahamaya, who is also known as Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijay, Vaishnavi, and so on. So some very interesting aspects being revealed here. So yeah, in one sense, just to jump ahead, so Krishna gets born in the womb of Devaki. Vasudeva will take him across the Yamuna to the home of Nanda and Yashoda. Then this baby is carrying, who is called Vasudeva Krishna, will merge into the body of actual Krishna, who was born as from Yashoda. Yashoda gives birth to a son and a daughter. And then the daughter gets taken back by Vasudeva to the prison house, and then she manifests herself as Durga Devi when Kamsaka. But the other speakers will expand upon it. I'm just giving you a brief overview of the intricacies, because Krishna says his birth is not ordinary, or his appearance. It's transcendental. And it's not that it's just like an ordinary. And just we didn't discuss it here, but it is explained that how Krishna first appeared within the mind of Vasudeva. And when he appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, Vasudeva became so effulgent that nobody can even look at him. And from the mind of Vasudeva, he got transferred into the mind of Devaki. And that's still to be described and discussed. But I think we shall, 2014 now. We'll stop here. We'll take any final questions, comments, or reflections. And then tomorrow we'll continue this very interesting pastime of the Lord.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Santosh Mataji.
Very nice class, very enjoyable. I'm really enjoying it very much. Thank you. I'd like to ask you a question, please. Could you please recap about Kamsa being killed? Was he killed by Krishna or Vishnu?
Was he killed by Krishna or Vishnu? We all know from later on reading the pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Kamsa was killed in the wrestling arena by Krishna.
By Krishna.
By Krishna.
So the fact that Kamsa was killed by Krishna, does that mean that Kamsa received salvation because he was killed by Krishna?
Yes, that's what we understand. All demons killed by Krishna, but we also know that Kamsa is in a special categories, and it's not like generally the demons killed by Krishna, they all attain Sayujya Mukti, which means of the 5 times of liberation, one of the liberations is called Sayujya Mukti, which is merging into the Brahman effulgence of Krishna. But Kamsa was one of the births of Jai and Vijay. So he was in a different category. He was actually an eternal associate of the Lord in his eternal constitutional position.
So Kala name is Hiranya.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Sorry, Meena Mataji, you were adding something?
He says Kala name is Hiranyakashipu's brother.
Son of Hiranyaksha. Yeah. I can't remember the details, but when Jai and Vijay were cursed, how many births was it? They were going to take births as demon?
3.
3. Okay. So that's how the acharyas have explained that they're in a special category. But generally, all demons killed by Krishna, they never take birth again.
Prabhuji, I'm a bit confused about Yogamaya and Subhadra, the position. How did? Yeah. Can you explain a little bit more, please?
Yes, sure. As Prabhupada explains, you can read the purport from the Bhagavatam. You've got Srimad Bhagavatam, Mataji?
No, I haven't got.
Oh, you haven't got.
But I will read online.
Okay, even if you read online, you'll see in the first part, 1 of 10th canto.
Yes.
The actual Sanskrit verses which Prabhupada has given a summary study, which we're reading in Krishna book here, but the actual verses, and you can see how beautifully Prabhupada has written Krishna book, because each of the verses are in here. He explains a bit more that this daughter is the sister of Krishna, a manifestation of Yogamaya, and then she expands herself in the material world as Mahamaya, Durga Devi. So she's an expansion, the sister of Krishna.
And Subhadra?
Yeah, that's Subhadra.
That's Subhadra, okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Any other questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Bulashni Mataji.
Subhadra Devi, does she actually take birth from Devki's womb as well?
From what my understanding is from what reading, yes.
After becoming Mahamaya?
Um,
Or after leaving the, after Kans tried to kill her,
yes.
but she
Yes.
actually
Yes.
fled.
There are some other pastimes. Maybe if I can, I'll share it with you. That explains, yes, she's, you'll read that Yashoda Maya gives birth to twins. And this twin appeared, whereas Krishna says, you go, he ordered her to go, and you shall appear as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda in Vrindavan. So she went after that and appeared as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda. All right. Thank you very much, all of dear devotees, for your
Wonderful class,
participation and
Prabhuji.
questions. And,
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was
We mustn't stop, carry on.
Hare Krishna, devotee.
yeah, it's wonderful to read the pastimes of the Lord.
Prabhuji, I don't want you to stop. Just carry on. You know, it was so lovely.
Yeah, in fact, I was so absorbed myself. I looked at it was 8:28, and I was thinking, oh, how time has gone so quickly.
It's wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful,
Really
wonderful,
enjoying.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
all the
Hare
devotees.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
And can't wait till tomorrow, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.